Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Airport, and I'm going to be playing with the 1st UK Armoured Division. I really like this division. It's got challenges, it's got tornadoes, but I'll tell you one thing, it doesn't have warships. But that's where our sponsor comes in today. You guessed it, World of Warships, one of the most popular naval action MMOs in the world. World of Warships is free to play and puts you at the helm of awesome 20th century vessels, including aircraft carriers, battleships, destroyers, cruisers and even submarines. The game includes almost 600 warships and has over 30 million registered users just waiting for you to join them in team-based sea battles. Whilst historically and faithfully modelled, you can also customise your ship's appearance or performance before taking sail amongst challenging and beautiful landscapes. With 13 nations represented, there is a choice for everyone, but for me, I chose the mighty British, of course. Hailing from Portsmouth, the home of the Royal Navy, new players can support me directly by using code VICTORY23. You'll get a huge head start with 7 days of premium, 2 million free credits to improve your ships, 200 doubloons to customize them, and a tier 3 ship of your choice. There is no better time to start playing World of Warships. Don't make me press gang you. Download for free on PC and use code VICTORY23 to join me on the seas. Back to the game, we have Milan 2s rushing forwards here. Milan 2 Pirates. Really nice feature of the 1st UK Armoured is you do get some decent forward deployment units. So Milan 2s, 80 gems that I can put further forwards on the map. We've got SAS Patrol, going to be following up strong recon units with snipers and MP5, silenced MP5s. We've got Terrier Powder, which have the Carl Gustav, the M2 variant with the 16 penetration at 750 meter range, decent AT weapon, not the best, but there we go. And as I mentioned at the very start of the video, Tornado coming in already. This is going for the kill on the MI8, but the Mirage 2000 of Wooden going to be beating me to it. And Mirage 2000 also going to be going in for the strafing run onto the UAZ, looking for the kill. It does have twin 30mm, so sometimes it can kill those off, but I think it ran out of ammo there before it could finish the job. MiG-29 coming in to head on the Tornado F3, and I'm going to be very sad as the MiG actually wins that engagement. My poor patriotic heart has to watch the Tornado go down. Pilot is pulverized as the MiG-29 makes its escape. But that's okay, we've got Challenger 2s on the ground, and that is an awesome tank. Going to be followed up by the Track Rapier here. We've actually got 2 Challengers at the start. Because this is a very open map and I'm going to be playing the centre today, Challenger 2s and an abundance of them is certainly what we're going to be seeing today. So opposite me we have Bobby, and he's going to be using the 35th, so we've got to be a bit careful about helicopters and such, but he's currently facing off against Silver here. Silver's also got a bunch of troops on the left hand side. Now previously I showed off Airport as a 3v3, but this time around I want to show it off as a 4v4 because I feel like this map really suits 4v4. You've got this hill sort of wooden area on the right hand side, you've got the airport, you've got the residential area, and then you've got more sort of woods on the left hand side. Not as wooden, because obviously wooden isn't playing there. But moving on, getting my Terrier's para into position. Spetsnaz OP in a really awkward position for me actually, so Terrier's trying to move up and take them out. I don't want them to be there, of course, because eventually I'm going to want to be able to move up this road, so got to get rid of those. Motorozvedka, however, going to be in the way of my Terriers. TATU managing to use its reflex to get a good shot onto my Challenger 2. This is one thing that I'm going to have to be careful of in this engagement. We've got Bibi on our left who's got the helicopters, we've got TATUs in front of us. Those TATUs can fire HGMs, the helicopters can fire HGMs, so we've got to be watching our front armour here. Thankfully we can tank the reflex in the front armour, but it will chip away the HP that I have. And these TATUs, they've got slightly more HP than I have, so when it comes to actually engaging with our main guns, he's going to have an advantage. Javelin, LML, trying to get into line of sight to shoot the MI8. Great thing about the Javelin LML is it loads 3 missiles and fires them every 2 seconds and then reloads for 10 seconds after that. And in this case, allowing me to take out the MA8. They have 65% accuracy, I believe. Yeah, so really, really accurate. Fantastic for shooting down helicopters. And the LML I would recommend using in buildings like that regularly. Anyway, Challenger's going to finish off the Spetsnaz OP as they try to close range onto the Challenger Mark II. And the Multi-Class are going to go down as well. Mi-24V going to be the next helicopter to have a go. Once again, the Javelin fires away. Not doing that much damage, only 4 damage there. So the Mi-24V getting away perfectly fine. T-80U going to be able to continue its ranged engagement against my... Or T-80U beating the Challenger at range. I'm going to have to try and close distance, but T-80U getting a lot of hits here. This thing has 50% accuracy, so far, Tash coming out pretty well with that engagement. And now hitting me hard with his shot there as well. I only did 1 damage with my shot. We're going to be doing near the same damage. He's got 19 front armor and 21 penetration. I've got 20 front armor and 20 penetration. There we go, another shot going off. The main thing that we have as an advantage is accuracy. So I've got 65% accuracy. I've also got 2 veterancy on my tank. He's only got 1 veterancy. So that obviously makes a difference as well. But currently just trading shots. Tash doesn't want to continue the engagement. He's going to smoke and back off, and I'm going to do the same. Got to be a little bit careful of the units in this tree line. So making sure to back off at a bit of an angle here. Just get into cover as soon as possible. He's currently smoked off, so I don't have to worry about that. Mirage 2000 lucky to get out alive there as multiple missiles fly its way. And as you can see, I'm now consolidating all these track rapiers around my challengers because they're quite low on health. It makes them a very good target for Cluster, because sometimes Cluster doesn't get the kill in one run if it's like a full health tank, but if it's lacking a little bit of health, there's going to be a lot more likely to die. So you've got to watch out when your tanks get low like that. Bit of an ambitious bombing strike, that's for sure. Spetsnaz now going to be finding my Terriers. Spetsnaz really, really strong with their AS-FALs and the SVD. So the Terrier's not going to last very long in that engagement. Spetsnaz OP, meanwhile, is managing to get the flank onto wooden box here on the right-hand side. Challenger 2, looking for the engagement with the T-80UD. Did manage to find a side shot. Is going to find another one, and we managed to pick off a T-80UD already. The reason that happened is because it didn't have any recon on the Challenger 2. The Spetsnaz can't see it yet, so I'm able to get a second shot off before it even gets close. I even get 2 free BTR kills as infantry comes in. Really, really nice there from the Challenger. Accuracy really, really paying off. Now the Spetsnaz is going to spot the Challenger 2, but I'm going to be bringing in another one already. I've got the Chinook in position to fix up my Challengers when needed. Everything about the British forces is so cool, let's be honest. I'm so biased with that opinion. Anyway, Challenger now looking for the kill onto the Ural. Unfortunately missing this time around. HDGaming manages to hit again, so I'm going to have to back off. But yeah, 2 Challenger 2s coming, another track rapier, so I've now got 4 track rapiers, and you can see how important it is for me to keep my AA up in this situation. Since I started with the 2 Challengers, having enough AA to support that is super important. Look at all these Javelin LMLs. I've got 3 Javelin LMLs on the left in these buildings, and then I've got the Javelin squad in the tree line. And this is how you want to set it up. You want to have your Javelins in buildings, you want to have your Javelin LML squads specifically in buildings, and your normal Javelins not in buildings. But Challenger 2 just going deep there, trying to get my shots onto the T-80U, keep line of sight as we charge forwards. I do have the SAS patrol there, but they're not going to be able to keep line of sight as it goes deep into cover. My plan was to just fast move up the road and use the stabilizers that these tanks have to find the kill. Fortunately, he's still backing up, and the deeper he gets into the forest, the less I'm going to be able to see him, of course. But that is going to allow me to move up this warrior with some armoured rifles, and these armoured rifles, they have a pretty terrible AT weapon, but it is an AT weapon, and that means they can cause a lot of cohesion loss to those tanks. The great thing about this patch is AT weapons on infantry are much more effective than they used to be because they cause a ton of cohesion when they're fired. Bobby going to be taking the opportunity to push on my flank as I advance deep into Tarsh's lines here. And that's going to force me to really change my plans. But the T-64 BVK very, very low on health already. One of the T-64s almost gets hit before it smokes. These Milan 2s really paying off on my flank so far. Spetsnaz do get spotted. I'm going to try and take them out as quickly as possible. Blind Tarsh just once again. Milan 2 trying its best to get shots towards the BMD2 before it gets taken out itself. This time around, it is unable to find the hit, and it's going to be forced to fall back. Now we have Mi-24s from Tarsh coming in, so I'm going to have to reverse back. Managed to get the armoured rifles in position, but they are now killed. That way Brooks going to have to unload his infantry in a really awkward position there as they take that road. T-64 BV, however, has been hit by the Milan 2. We managed to take it out. BMP2 going to soon follow. Desaniki are pushing across the airfield now. They're trying to make ground. Skrazet following through. A couple of Strellas there. My challengers have come into position now. Just got to try and clean this up before he gets into the buildings. If he can get the infantry in here, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to dislodge it for a little while. But the Tornado coming in with the bombing strike. Desaniki Afghanzi blown to smithereens. Beautiful bombing strike there by the Tornado. That's what we like to see. Desan Sapari and the Desaniki BMD trying to get on top of my Milan 2. I really want to keep this alive if I can, but didn't manage to micro it out of the building in time. Challenger 2 is now engaging that infantry. T-64 BV throwing HGMs at distance. I was really worried the whole time that Tarsh might come through here with tanks and flank me, but as you can see, I've got some scouts with Law 80s moving up. We've got warriors nice and close. They're going to support these armoured rifles as they push into that tree line. So I've managed to really blunt this attack. It was a big push that Bobby put together, but managed to get the better of it. Just need to kill off this T-64 BV, and that's most of the threats dealt with from that point. So the Chinook has fixed up the Challenger, bringing over the Challenger here as well. Going to be keeping these Challengers in position, and you can see I've now got 5 Challengers on the map. They're going to be supported by 4 tracked rapiers. We've got the 3 Javelin LMLs still. So really covering ourselves off against enemy aircraft, which would be one of the main ways that they can deal with us now. Of course, still got to worry about T-80UDs on the ground. But with like numbers advantage against those, I should be okay.
Back up, back up.
Really hoping this Challenger can hit the mark. Unfortunately going to miss. Cohesion going to be causing accuracy loss there. Armoured rifles going to be pushing onto the Motostrelki. Warrior Milans do have line of sight. We've got the F-104 coming in with the bombing strike onto one of those Motostrelki squads. Probably not worth it for him. But this Challenger going to be pushing forwards aggressively now, looking for the attack onto the T-64 BV. Instead, the UAZ going to take the shots for the Challengers. Whilst we continue this engagement on the right hand side, one of the warriors does go down. I'm going to take out another UAZ on the left there. This warrior Milan is going to get hit, unfortunately, by the AT. Scouts are also going to go down. The scouts with the Law 80s, I brought them in so that I had better AT to go with the armoured rifles, but in this case, kind of let them die in the open for free. SAS Patrol coming back. Going to do what they're good at, kill infantry at close range. They've got silenced MP5, so that close range combat. They've got satchel charges, and they're going to be able to clean house here as the Desaniki BMD and the Desan Sapari RPO go down. Terrier Paras came in, just trying to use them up in my deck. Hold the line. Bonkers, got to take care of those. Going to be difficult for me to do. Now when they fire, the GSR from the SAS patrol should spot them, so I will be able to engage them with the challengers from here on out, whereas before I was going to struggle because I wouldn't have enough recon to spot them when they fire, and the challengers are pretty blind, so having this SAS patrol there super important. But now these Mi-24s, got to be careful about those, of course. Track Rapier's doing its best to try and shoot down these Mi-24s now, actually managing to score a hit on each. And 3 shots in a row. I must be dreaming. As one of the Mi-24 V80s goes down. Gazelle coming over to spot the Spetsnaz here, potentially, so that I can run them down with the Challenger Mark II. Just got to be careful of the Spetsnaz OP, of course. And meanwhile, we'll be still building up more forces on this left-hand side. But at least this time, I'm ready for it. I've got 2 challengers sitting and waiting. We've got plenty of units in these buildings to deal with the infantry, and these rifles, they even have a low rating if one of these vehicles gets close, so this is going to be a lot easier for me to defend this time around. I was convinced Bobby was just going to be pushing into Silver here, but Silver ended up pushing on the left hand side with the Great Phoenix, so they've managed to secure the sector further up, and it's just up to me to really hold the mid against Tarsh and of course Bobby here. Tarshin and that way Brooks are currently focused on Wooden Box, though, I believe, at the moment, as the enemy team sort of shifts their positions the entire time. The challengers now going to be moving forwards, looking for the engagement onto the T-64BV. Challenger does manage to get 2 hits on target. Was briefly 3 vet there due to being next to the Sultan, so that was really good. One thing you might have also noticed is I'm not leaving the Sultan in the sector. There's no reason for that to be in the sector unless it's being contested. So if you do bring in commands to capture sectors on the front line but they're not being contested, just move them out. Otherwise you just leave them vulnerable to being taken out when you're not paying attention. Anyway, Descent Conquers need to go down. Thankfully I have the GSR going from the SAS patrol, so we've got the exceptional optics, and that is spotting them, allowing me to directly shoot them with the challengers. And in the frontal armor, the Descent Conquer is only going to be doing like 1 damage per shot, so we're able to shoot that one out of the air control tower there across the airfield. Very, very cool. Spetsnaz OP have been spotted by the Gazelle, allowing my Challenger Mark II to fall back in good time. Warrior Milan's coming in to try and take that out, and another Challenger 2 moving in to block off Dawei Brooks and Tarsh. So the grenade launcher team actually providing decent fire support across the airfield here, with the Descents backed up by the T-64 and the Mi-24V. My challengers have managed to deal with both of the Conquers teams on the top side. That's really, really good. T-64BV needs to go down, but does manage to get the smoke off. Rifles on the left-hand side have been killed. Terrier's powder not going to be lasting too much longer. MiG-27 coming in with the bombing strike, but we have a lot of AA, don't forget. And they swiftly shoot down one, looking to try and take out the other. Unfortunately, unable to. Bombing strike hits the Terrier's powder. Doesn't really hit much else. Challenger, however, in trouble, as going to be forcing me to smoke that soon. SAS patrol forced out of the building. Might blind me if they go down. That would be really, really bad. Bagua from Silver going to be helping us out as another intense engagement happens across the airfield here. Bombing strike coming in, takes out the Dasanniki Metis. And those aircraft are just about surviving. Descent, Pulimachiki. Oh, another MiG-29 making the mistake of driving overhead. I'm bringing the Warriors over now as well to back this up, because there was just such pressure put on by Bobby here across the airfield. I even brought in the Bedford to try and resupply things, but Milan 2 still running out of ammo. Managed to get the smoke off here just in time for the Challenger. And we're going to have to replace the Chinook, because that's done so much repairs, so much resupply, that we've used up an entire Chinook. And these Warrior Milans will be able to use their Milans to try and put damage onto the T-64s. These T-64s do have decent health though. 2 more challengers on the left-hand side. Actually in a good place. Strella's going to be hit by artillery. See, I've brought in a couple of the M109A2s. Those are going to be arting this position. As he falls back away from my challengers, he's going to drive straight into that artillery. So I'm hoping to get some extra damage on target. So far, our position here has held firm, and we still have a lot of challenges. We're up to 8 challenges on the field. So, all about the challenges today. Very, very awesome fight so far. Pushing into Tash, managing to kill a couple of T-80s, and then being flanked by Bobby and having to deal with this big old push that came across the airfield twice now. Bobby now trying to regroup. It's allowing me time to repair all of these challenges, and every time we're sort of killing his tanks without losing one of our own, we just continue to gain this huge advantage. I'm trying my best to throw it away here as the Challenger Mark II gets caught out in the open. Now being fired at by an SPG-9. These SPG-9s, they do have heat, which does allow them to get damage in every time regardless. Thankfully now out of range. Challenger 2's doing their best to take it out, but here comes a push from Tash. These T-80Us and T-80UDs are pushing hard onto the Challenger 2's. Gazelle's going to go down. Challenger needs to smoke. Managed to get the smoke off just in time. Challenger's now repositioning to engage Tash, but Bobby's going to take the opportunity to fire into my flank. So we are now being pincered, and I've got to try and manage this. Thankfully, the BRM going down, removing some of the recon that was leading the charge for the T-80. Tunguska going to be taken out. Not too helpful for me because I'm not relying on helicopters, but either way, it's still a target dealt with. T-80Us are the primary target. TO-55s would also be good kills here. I'm keeping this Challenger in line of sight on the right-hand side, not in line of sight of the T-80Us. It's quite happy here. Armoured Rifle's also going to be happy to help out. Shooting the TO-55, managed to find a good shot onto the T-80U there. Side shot as it tries to reverse. T-80UD is just out of line of sight for a couple of these challenges, so I had to move up just a tiny bit. This Challenger really in trouble, needs to get its smoke off. Is going to be able to, falls back. Meanwhile on the left hand side, HGMs are trying to do their best to hold the line. Desaniki have moved across, but Warrior going to get taken out. Another Tunguska kill for me. Smoke coming in to cover off Tash's retreat. Unfortunately, the F-16 going to be missing its missile and shot down. And this T-80UD not getting hit by the Milan, and my Challenger 2 struggling. I'm trying to get this Challenger 2 to take a shot because this Challenger Mark II just got routed. Got to try and stay in line of sight, but not able to do it. Bobby tried to push across the left here. Unfortunately, got absolutely minced. All of the Milan 2s using up their ammunition. And there was also help from Silva as he brought in the HGM Jaguars to kill off a lot of the tanks. So Challenger 2 just about managing to get its smoke off again. Huge for me. We're now down to 6 challenges though. We did lose a couple during those engagements, all of them pretty much, other than one, on very, very low health, but it has been ticking a +4 for a while since the double push on the left side by our team has managed to take that point, and what was a short but epic engagement ends, and we're able to hold the line. And this was the primary reason I wanted to share this one with you guys, is yes, it's a short replay, but my, was that pincer epic. Unfortunately, the enemy team not quite able to pull it off. That's going to be victory. So really, really fun engagement there to manage with those challenges. And yeah, it's a short video, it's a short replay, but I think this map really shows big promise when it comes to big tank engagements. I would actually love to see this in 10v10, like for real. There's a lot of these maps that they make for like 3v3, 4v4 would just be fantastic in 10v10, because imagine the amount of people who you could have like in the middle creating like huge tank wall engagements. It'd be absolutely awesome, and there's just enough line of sight there, like line of sight blockers, to really make things a bit more tactical. So my challenge is having to like move out in and out of cover, use cover, and obviously their smoke to keep themselves alive at the last moment. But 4,705 kills to 2,335 losses in the end. Silver just about beating me on the kills there. Milan 2's really covering me off well on the airfield. You can see this one getting the Strela, getting the T64, probably more important. Then we got the Challenger Mark IIs coming in strong. Sharps, Bailiff, on absolute chads. And this Challenger Mark II of Jackson getting a few kills in there. The Javelin NMLs doing their job. You can see that they are shooting down both aircraft and helicopters. When aircraft fly over Javelin NMLs, you can often get like 2 shots off if they fly directly over the top, which is great. So yeah, make sure you use those Javelin LMLs in buildings. I think they're really, really strong. And then just use normal Javelins elsewhere. Track Rapiers are okay, but they're generally just there to be mobile with your tanks. Challenger Mark IIs though, peak as always. Gotta love a good British replay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.